Right.
Who's that watch?
Go ahead, Elliot.
Welcome, Nerds fans, to the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes, smack talk, and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the sports nerd joins forces with his maniac co-hosts, whom are a select group of sports nerds with attitude that are known in Nerd Nation as the Rat Pack. These are four of the most foul-mouthed, shit-talking nerds, spitting some sick rips and rants, just enough to make you piss your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd Right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sports Nerds. I am the Sports Nerd, and joining me as usual are my co-hosts or cohorts in crime, if you will, Mr. John G. Olson, Elliot Big E Lamba, and Ken Koslow. For the next 90 minutes, we'll be talking the week in sports, and I promise you we won't always agree, and I promise there will be smack talk at some point during the show. With that, let's get it going, gentlemen. How we doing? Good to see you. How was your week, Mr. Olson?
Glorious. Not a bad day at all in the land of John. So
yeah, I kind of figured that much after what happened this week. Kenny, I see you got your power back this week. Good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, thank you. I'm really good. Got my test results back at my last doctor's appointment. My cholesterol is at 100.
Nice. Congratulations, sir.
Well, it's never been high, so it's never been a real that big of a problem. I'm just proud of the fact that it is that low. So all the other numbers are fantastic. So I'm doing just peachy.
Absolutely. And Elliot, how about you, Mr. Baldy this week?
It's an all right week, and I had some issues with a leg problem, and then today with, it's the old man shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
And then today I finally no longer have any more children living in the house, as my son turned 18 today.
Okay, but he's still living at home.
Mariano. Yeah, he's still living at home, but he's no longer a child under the law.
Interesting.
He is now an adult.
Yep.
Well, with the new variant, they put the kibosh on us returning to work, so I'm still working from home full time at this point until
doing that to a lot of people.
Yep, things calm down a bit down here in the States. Other than that, things are going well. Just can't be happier. I got one more payment left on my car. It's happening next week, and I got paid off.
Awesome.
So I'm paying off my car this month, which is awesome. So it's been an interesting week. Let's get right into it. We'll save the first topic for a second, since it's probably the best topic for one of our co-hosts here. Josh Allen signs a 6-year extension with the Buffalo Bills. $256 million, I think is what it was, John.
Yeah, and 258.
$258 million with $150 million guaranteed.
Yes, sir.
So they got their franchise quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
They had their franchise quarterback. They just locked him in now.
Yeah, that's true, too. Yes.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, obviously this was coming, and, I think they were trying to make a deal about this. Like, oh, is he going to sign before the season? Like, no one in Bills Mafia was worried, like, at all. Like, it wasn't even, like, on our radar of, oh, he's not going to – no. Like, I mean, it was –
people were more concerned about Austin, right?
Yeah, I don't even know if they're concerned about that, to be honest. Hi, Katie. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Katie.
Dude, I like, it's everything is great in Buffalo, unless if you're a Sabres fan, then it's like miserable. But everything's on the up and up in Bills territory. So we're pretty happy. Go ahead.
I enjoyed the video of him throwing footballs to the kids in the crowd at the stadium. That was pretty cool.
The best tweet of the weekend. The Buffalo Bills get more people at their practices than the Jacksonville Jaguars get at their regular season games. And I'm here for it.
Yep. Yeah. The Browns had one of their scrimmages today too. And they had a bunch of people in the stands. So they was happy with that too. So I can relate to that, John. But yeah, I mean, that's a good deal for Josh. Good deal for the Bills.
Yep. And they think it's going to be like a value pick because the TV deal's kicking in a couple of years, and for all intents and purposes, it's going to go up. The salary cap's going to go up. So it's a 6-year deal, around $43 million a year. That apparently is going to be a steal because Lamar's going to sign something, Baker's going to sign something,
right?
And will it be comparable? Well, some people say it'll be more. So.
Well,
we're happy.
I can see Lamar getting more for sure.
He's got the MVP in his resume. So
right. And I think and Baker is, as far as Baker is concerned, he made a comment today to the media that he doesn't care because he's not doing the negotiations. All he cares about is winning. So he's letting his agent take care of that stuff, and it'll all wash out in the end. He's not worried about it. Even if it doesn't get done until later in the season or after this season, so he can prove himself. He's good with that. So he's all in about winning, and that's all that matters to us and the Browns fans and whatnot in the organization. He's not distracted with the contract talks because
I heard Zach Wilson had a tough time at Jets first 2
picks. His first
11 for 30 or something, and 3 picks.
He got intercepted by
Mosley.
Who hadn't played in over a year.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, and I'm here for it. Like they're already saying trade for Deshaun, and it's like one game. It's I love it. I'm here for it. I hope he breaks legs and just continues to be the face of the franchise. Go for it. Go for it, New Jersey.
The next Mark Sanchez, is that what you're saying, John?
Dude, it's funny. It's just, you listen to these, these are all the same fans that threw Josh under the bus, that were saying Josh is crap, and they had Jalen Ramsey talk his smack off, his lips off about, he's garbage, this and that and the third when he's with the Jets. It's when he was with the Jags. And it's just keep yapping, guys. Keep yapping. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. They the defensive line came out this week. The Jets defensive line came out and said, we're coming. So we all should be afraid of the Jets defensive line this year, guys.
Here they come.
Well, they might as well have they might as well have an awesome offensive line because from the sounds of it, their quarterback situation is as bad as it is.
That kid is going to get destroyed, and I'm here for it.
Well, it's going to be the same situation as with the previous guy they had there. He's going to get killed.
Are they starting him? Is he going to be the starter week 1?
Who else they got?
Oh, that's right. That's what I was going to. That was my follow up.
Who you don't have anybody else to start?
I don't even remember who the quarterback was last year. Who was the quarterback last year?
Wasn't it Joe Flacco or some shit like that?
Was it?
That's for their deep. So are they resurrecting Mark Stone?
It was Joe Flacco who came in for what's his name?
Well, Flacco's still on the Jets roster as far as I know, isn't he?
Not anymore, no.
No.
He's with Denver. Oh, he was with Denver or he moved somewhere else.
He came to New York from Denver.
Darnold, that's it. Thank you.
Sam Darnold.
Dude, that's so bad. How did we forget that?
Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now, I guess Darnold is the guy who's going to start in Carolina.
Yeah. From what I hear, Darnold's tearing it up down there in Carolina.
I think Sam's going to have a good year because he just needs to get the hell out of New Jersey.
Dude, here's the thing: you can't expect to go into the New York media as a rookie quarterback out of college and expect
unless you're Joe Namath.
Anything. Unless you're Joe Namath, or unless you're guys like Josh Allen and shit. You know what I'm saying? The Jets just don't. Decades. I've been watching the Jets draft for fucking 40, 50 years now. Yeah. And they have no fucking clue what the draft is all about. Okay.
I mean, who was the last draft pick they had was any good?
The last draft? Well, they traded him to the Giants, didn't they?
We'll go ahead and hold. That'll probably take the full 90 minutes for anybody to answer that. But
hey, Pixie, good to see you. Have a good night.
Hey, Jumper.
Hi,
look, the Jets just Here's how off the Jets are. You know how you guys say, okay, so if you're a Mets fan, you should be a Knicks fan, a Jets fan, and an Islanders fan, right?
Yeah, Nets, Jets, Mets, and Islanders.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
not Nets because they're in Brooklyn. I don't count.
But historically, if you're a Jets fan and a Mets fan, you're also a Nets fan and you're an Islanders fan. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: Knicks and Mets. What colors do they
Yankees.
rock? They rock orange and royal blue, don't they?
Green.
Yes.
Where the fuck did the Jets get green from?
The Hudson River, bro. What do you mean?
Because
Where they got the green from? The toxic waste dump that is Jersey. Oh, I'm sorry.
Because if
Sorry,
you look at
Jersey
the
fans.
other end, you got the
Giants.
Yankees, the Giants, the Rangers, and the Nets. Okay, those are the 4 teams. All right. Guess what colors they are? Guess what colors they are?
But Elliot, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I've heard. I've heard if you were a Giants fan, a Yankees fan, and a Rangers fan, you were also a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
All right. And then if you're a Jets fan,
you
a
weren't.
Mets fan, and an Islanders fan, you were a Brooklyn Nets fan.
If you're an
didn't
Island,
ring
you were
the pack
no,
of
you're
deals.
not were Brooklyn. You were a New Jersey Nets fan at the time.
Well,
A
that's
New
what I'm
York
talking
Nets
about.
fan.
Yeah.
New York Nets fan.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Because when they moved to Jersey, they were no longer New York. I'm just saying the original. If you look at the teams in New York, there's ones that are red, white, and blue, and then there's others that are orange, white, and royal blue.
Yeah.
The only 2 teams that fucking break that tradition, and most of all one, is the fucking Jets. Where the fuck did they, besides the Hudson River, where the fuck did they get green from?
Delegates, all because of the Hudson River. That's it.
Which is
Or
why the
Eastern
Jets
was a little bit worse, but that's not.
Which is why the Jets have always been the fucking stepchild of fucking football or any other sport in New York.
the redheaded stepchild of
On
New York
Christmas
sports.
morning.
Jen knows. Jen knows. Jen
Thank you,
sucks,
Jen.
period.
Yep.
Jen is wise beyond her years. Perfect.
Yes, she is.
Yes, I like it.
So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, come on. I grew up around the, watching the Jets and the Giants when I was a kid.
Clarkie makes a good point because the Yankees, Knicks, Giants, and Rangers have been around forever. The rest are expansion teams. Period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why. Yes.
And they have no fucking clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
a
look
good point,
at
Clarkie.
when was the last time they won anything? The expansion team.
1969.
Who?
The Jets.
Jets.
Oh, well, the Jets. I'm talking about the expansion teams themselves. The Knicks haven't won since '72.
Well, the Knicks were an expansion team. The Nets were.
Islanders in the 80s.
The Islanders in the
Mhm.
'80s.
Mets in 86.
Mets in 86.
The Mets in '86 was the last one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the
so
Nets.
Yeah,
Nets
that
were-
one hurts Kenny. We don't want to talk about it. It hurts Kenny.
the Nets haven't won
No,
since they
Buckner.
were in New York, playing for the ABA.
Mets last championship came in the ABA. So.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's to me. I'm fine with the misery that's going on in the tri-state area, and I'm okay with it. So
With the Jets, especially because they're
with the Jets, especially the Giants, I don't hate the Giants. It's whatever, It's a different
It's a different conference, dude.
conference, So it's not a big deal, right? So
I mean, the only thing you should have against the Giants is wide right, but that was what's his name's fault.
But
Norway.
dude, like honestly, like all of those Super Bowls, like it's like I never hated the Cowboys, I never hated the Skins, I never hated the Giants. It's Super Bowl, right? Like unless it's like some epic old school battle,
Well, you don't
that-
have any rivalries in a Super Bowl, really. To be honest with you,
no.
not true rivalries.
Well, yeah, Dallas and Pittsburgh back in the day. That was a big rivalry. Yeah.
And how much of a rivalry is it now?
And
Both
now-
teams suck.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I guess I'm supposed to hate the Cowboys, but I was an Emmitt Smith fan back in the day because he
'Cause
was
he's from
he
Florida,
was the
University
only
of Florida.
Florida Gator player that I knew back
My
then.
hate for the Cowboys began the day Jerry Jones came in and unceremoniously dismissed Tom Landry.
Correct. Mine too.
That's when my hatred
Yes.
for the fucking Cowboys began.
Mine too.
That's my
I was a huge fan of Tom Landry. A huge
Jerry
fan of Tom
Jones
Landry.
came in, roughshod, and fucking destroyed
Oh, it goes way beyond that, and I'll have to tell you that sometime.
a legacy.
They fired him on the golf course, Ken.
Oh, it went long before that.
Yeah, no, they're
That was an
Jerry Jones.
arrangement. That was an arrangement. That was the previous owner.
Tex Schramm.
Tex Schramm?
No, one after.
Oh, the owner, right? Yeah, Tex Schramm was the GM. That's right.
Yeah, but I'll have to remember his name. It's the one in between Ferguson and Jerry Jones. One of the reasons he sold the team to Jerry Jones was one of the conditions was he had to fire Tom Landry.
Well, that's
because
bullshit.
he did not like Tom Landry at all.
But yeah, you know what? Jerry Jones didn't have to go about it like that either, because he knows.
No, he didn't.
He knew the
He
tradition of the Cowboys. Why was
Yes.
if he has so much money and so much clout, why the fuck is he selling out to somebody else?
I cannot answer that.
You
But,
know, that's
there was a
because
lot
Jerry
more to the
Jones is an
story than
idiot.
everyone thinks. So
They haven't won shit since he became the team GM. They haven't done a fucking thing.
Not since Barry Switzer.
not
No, and Jimmy Johnson's the one.
Jimmy
Congratulations to Jimmy Johnson, by the way.
Yes.
Johnson. Yes.
Hall of Fame
Okay.
inductee last night.
He's the one that put those championship teams together.
Well, yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
he is.
we all know that third championship wasn't Barry Switzer's. It was Jimmy Johnson.
It was Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
It was his team.
Just
Barry
like
Switzer was a caretaker of nothing
just like the Buccaneers Super Bowl belonged to
Yeah.
Tony Dungy and
it belonged to
John Herman.
Dungy.
Yeah.
Not to what's his name? Chucky.
Yeah,
Because
true.
that's the team that Dungy built. It was kind of like Golden State winning with Steve Kerr. Mark
drive.
Jackson should have
Bum
been the
drive,
fucking
I'm trying
coach
to
for that
think of.
team. But since Kerr had buddies up in the Golden State front office,
Right.
you know.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, I actually watched the whole ceremony last night. They were limited to 8 minutes on their speeches, and they all maintained that 8-minute mark. Believe it or not.
Yeah, at one point, what's his name was like, I got 32 seconds left, so let me
Yes.
make this count.
Yes, exactly. But
The
congratulations
orchestra
on the
started playing.
What's that, Ken?
They have an orchestra that started playing when it was time.
I never heard music. I never heard music once. They didn't have to play them out.
Okay.
But congratulations to the inductees. I was glad to see Palomalo get in first ballot. Jimmy Johnson. As much as I hated it, Bill Cowher.
Palomalo had the best bust of them all.
Yeah, Palomalo's bust. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, you got to go look for it because it's just, I mean, the back of it is just pure Palomalo.
Oh my
The
God.
hair. Oh, gosh.
He even turned it around for everybody to
Yes,
see.
correct. Yes, it was
I miss
awesome.
Troy. He was
Um,
fun to watch.
oh,
I know.
Troy.
Yeah.
Scott was a big fan.
I was not a big fan of Troy Polamalu, but that's okay.
Oh no, of course not. Why would you be?
It's going to be
fucking lit
a
up the
Steelers
Browns for
weekend
years,
because
dude.
I think there's like
He lit
5
the Browns
Steelers
up.
going in this
You
year.
lit the Browns up for years, dude.
Yeah.
He was like a loaded shotgun, man, coming
Yeah.
out of that backfield.
And all Dick LeBeau had to do was point him at somebody.
Yes.
That's who you're going after. No problem. And he would just rock it, and his hair would be flying, bro.
Well, he'd say, "We need the ball back," and guess what? Palomalo went and got the ball back.
Well, he was instrumental in that Seahawks game when he intercepted that pass at the end. That's how they won that game because he picked him off. So, I always respected Palomalo because of what he did off the field and as well as what he did on the
What,
field.
the Head and Shoulders commercials or what?
No. His philanthropy. He's really good with it.
Patrick and his handheld fan. That was fucking hilarious. Mahomes.
Holmes.
Well, you know, all of the people that went into the Hall of Fame that I know of deserved it.
I was really glad to see Randall. Not Randall Cunningham. Good God. Why can't I think of his name? Kenny.
Of course, Peyton Manning was in the Hall of Fame before he even started playing in the
I
NFL.
didn't see it. I can't help it.
They had Peyton Manning in the Hall of Fame when he was in college. So that wasn't much of a.
In high school.
My goodness. But
By the way, speaking of Manning, beware. His nephew is coming, and he's coming like a lightning bolt.
who?
Arch Manning is supposed to be the real deal.
Who's
Yeah,
son?
he is. Yeah, he's lighting it up right now. Harold
son is
Carmichael was who I was talking about, Ken. Harold Carmichael.
Whose
Harold
son
Carmichael.
is he? Which
That
one?
That's
He is
Cooper's kid.
he's Cooper's kid.
He's Cooper's kid.
The
He's
other,
got an
the other
arm
Manning.
like
Huh?
Peyton.
The
He's
other
got,
Manning.
he's a little bit of Archie and Peyton combined.
Yeah, I mean, Harold Carmichael was who I was talking about. I was really glad to see him get in.
Carmichael, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the three of us. I know John doesn't remember who Harold Carmichael is, but the
And
three of
Calvin
us.
Johnson still
Do
doesn't
your
want this.
reminiscing. It's fine.
Yes, I
Do your
mean,
reminiscing.
the three of us
Back in
remember
my
Harold
day.
Carmichael back in the
And Calvin
70s.
Johnson still don't want nothing to do with Detroit.
Couldn't miss him at 6'8".
Yeah, tallest wide receiver ever played the game at 6'8".
Oh, when him and Cunningham or who did he play with? Roman Gabriel too.
And Jaworski.
And Jaworski.
Gabriel, Jaworski.
Did he play long enough to play with
I
Cunningham?
don't think he played with Norm Snead, but he played with
He might have played one season.
Gabriel and Jaworski and
Jaws.
Rick Arrington.
Okay. Yeah, he didn't play with Cunningham. Cunningham was way after
No.
Carmichael. I think Carmichael played. I think
So Carmichael, I tell you what,
Carmichael
back
played
in the day,
early to mid 70s, early to 70s.
number 17 in Philly, dude. That was the dude, man.
yeah, I think he retired in like 81, which is way before Cunningham's time.
He had
Yeah,
all the
well,
records until Jerry Rice came along.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And Rice
Donnie
just
Shell,
obliterated.
member of the Steel Curtain. Donnie Shell,
Donnie Shell. I know Donnie Shell, number 31.
number 31 in Pittsburgh. Ones that weren't broadcast last night because they actually were inducted back in May, and these guys have all passed. The one thing that I was happy to see was Steve Sable from NFL Films.
Yeah.
Paul Tagliabue, of course, was as well. He's the guy that brought the NFL into the 21st century, even though he left before that. But he's the guy that set up the modern day NFL.
In other words, he's the one that provided Roger Goodell with a layup.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct. And where is he?
Tagliabue, the last decent commissioner we've had in the NFL.
I like Tagliabue for some. I always did like Tagliabue.
He was a great successor to Pete Rozelle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of like Adam Silver in the NBA succeeding David Stern.
Right. Right. Now tonight, it's already started, but I'm not on it because I'd have to watch it on my computer. Tonight is the 2021 class. They did 2020 last night. They're doing 2021 tonight. And here we go.
Who's on that list?
We have
Drew Pearson's leading off, I know.
Alan Faneca, Tom Flores from the Raiders and the Seahawks. Megatron, John Lynch, which is about freaking time with John Lynch. Of course, Peyton Manning.
And
Drew
Megatron
Pearson,
still
Kenny.
don't want nothing to do with Detroit, yo.
Drew Pearson's leading off tonight.
And Rod Woodson. And who else?
Rod Woodson, another
Rod
great
Woodson.
Steeler.
Yeah.
Woodson. Back.
And Bill Nunn, who was selected as a contributor. I forgot. I mean, he was part of the front office. I think maybe with Pittsburgh or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's the 8 that are going tonight. I'll probably end up watching the replay or watching the rest of it when I get home.
When you get home.
Well, when we get done here, I'll probably watch it here on my computer.
Oh.
But it's a great class. I mean, all these guys we all saw playing. I mean, they're modern day. Most of them are modern day players, except for Drew Pearson. And just God, so freaking good. So freaking good. Game changers. I mean, they rebuilt their position. I mean, they what's the words I'm looking for? God, I'm stuttering bad tonight. They reimagined their position. Basically, they redefined it.
Reinvented it.
Reinvented, is that?
Yeah, reinvented the position they played. So I mean, I'm happy with the class. Well deserved. Megatron, especially because of how he had a short career because of injuries and disgruntlement with the Detroit ownership.
I think
I
Cliff
think it was
Harris
more
is
the
tonight
latter.
too, isn't he?
Cliff Harris went in last night.
Was that last night? Okay.
Yes, Cliff Harris went in last night.
43.
Yes.
Captain Crunch.
Yeah, he was undrafted, and he actually played like what is the word looking for? Some little league type.
Division 2 or Division 3 on Washita Baptist University out Arkansas.
Yep. He went to some D League or some D in California for a year or so, but was called in and brought in. Gil Brandt is responsible for him being on that team. Solid talent, and he actually was smart enough to actually understand Tom Landry's defense, and that's it. And he actually started his rookie season. So, and that Doomsday defense that was number 2 behind Pittsburgh the entire decade of the 70s. You could actually, I think they were pretty equal in my opinion.
They were 1 and 1A.
Yeah, 1 and 1A. But Dallas and Pittsburgh defined defenses in the 70s.
Doomsday and the Steel
Yes,
Curtain.
they did. One of the reasons why we played 3 times in the Super Bowl.
Yes. Well, Cliff played 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Cliff Harris played in 5 Super Bowls.
Yes, he did.
He won 2 of them, but he played in 5. He lost 3. He lost 1 against the Colts, 2 against Pittsburgh, and then he won the 1 against Miami and the 1 against Denver.
Yes.
So
Less said about that, the better.
LaShawn, oh shoot, McCoy. Why can't I get my stuff straight tonight? I'm all over the place.
Sean
tonight,
McCoy.
not LaShawn McCoy.
No? Okay.
Gerald McCoy.
Gerald McCoy.
Gerald McCoy.
Signs with the Raiders.
Yes.
They need defensive help, so that'd probably be a good signing for
They
them.
need a lot more than Gerald McCoy.
They need run help too.
Yeah, they're for some reason their front office is they're falling off like flies. They've had like 5 resignations in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Something's going on in Vegas. They're cleaning house.
Chucky going on.
Oh,
That's our.
Miami actually got Xavier Howard a deal. They reworked it today.
It would have been retarded not to, dude. That dude's a fucking beast.
He's a
How
top
awkward
5
is
corner.
that going to be, though? Like, how awkward is it going to be? Him talking all that smack.
And then
Now he's back in training camp. Like, I hope it causes infighting.
Hey, Matt.
So,
Knows he's in the house, John.
I knows it.
He's trying to defeat. He says we are in fear of the wrath of Nosy the Great. I guess he's talking fantasy football.
Is he in on this? Yeah.
Did you skip the Giants fight during training camp?
No, I did not. I was getting to that. The Giants had a fight.
Daniel Jones on the bottom of the pile.
Daniel Jones at the bottom of the pile, and the head coach made everybody just went crazy with the calisthenics and the running and the calisthenics as punishment. Took him aside and yelled and screamed at him.
We're going to discuss the fantasy league later, right?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
like, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Perfect. Smack talking shall begin.
Hey man, why can't I get you on the Facebook?
I have no idea, dude. And you mentioned that to me. I have no. It's not. I have nothing blocked. I have no. It's just. I have no idea.
Because sometimes people will like block, like, so you don't get the messages. You know what I'm saying? Like when I put out.
Can you copy the link to the Facebook group and then just send it?
I can send you the link. Yeah.
Yeah, send me the link and I'll click on it and I'll see what it says. Maybe that'll unstick it. But,
All right.
Did you check the group settings and make sure he wasn't blocked in the settings, Elliot?
He shouldn't be. I don't
You
block anybody.
check the group settings. And see
Look,
what's
I
going
don't
on.
block anybody. I just
Right, because
they're either there
issue,
or they're not.
right. Well, we had an issue with Eric earlier, a while ago. Eric, Eric John. He couldn't get into the show. He couldn't get into the group. Couldn't do it. Something was going on.
It was Bill. It was Bill.
No, Bill couldn't see Ken. That was the problem. He couldn't.
No. Last year when Bill wanted to play, and for some reason he said he couldn't get signed into the NFL Network or NFL.com.
Well, this is the groups. Kenny, Eric couldn't get in the show to comment. He couldn't get in the group, and I went in and fiddled with the settings and tried to make sure he was okay. So I don't know. Check with the group settings and see and make sure John's not blocked or something preventing him from getting.
Well, I'm going there right now. And
Yes, folks, this is live television.
Right. Sorry, guys.
anything can happen on live TV.
And it'll sound even better on the podcast when I post it later. So yeah, they had the fight, and the head coach went off on the players, took it out on the players as far as workouts and calisthenics and running and stuff like that.
I think he's coaching a high school team, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but my question with that is, does that predict failure for the Giants? I mean, I know they're not going to be great, but does that predict failure for the Giants in the long run, or is that good for the team?
Not necessarily.
You think something like that is good for building?
Are they going to revolt
fight
against him?
You think the fight is going to affect them?
Well, not only that, but the coach's reaction and the aftermath. Do you think it's going to affect how they play with each other?
I think they're going to use that as fodder to fucking motivate themselves. Watch.
Yeah, that was my.
They're going to use that as a way to fire themselves up.
What do you think, John?
They're using a training camp fight to motivate themselves. They're already.
What are they going to say to the media, right? Like, oh, there's infighting now, and like this is going to damage the team. No, they've got to do the standard. Oh, we went and had dinner after. There's no drama. We're okay. Everybody's fine. This just happens when people are passionate. Like, what are they going to tell you, right? But I guarantee you, here's the thing. Speaking from experience, when you get into a fight with one of your friends and punches are thrown, it takes a while to get back happy.
Right.
It's not just squash it and move forward.
It depends on the friendship. Because I've seen some squabbles where they just got up, shook hands, and walked away. No problem.
Yeah, I guess. I
have 20 years experience in sports, and I've covered 12,000 preseason training camp fights. If I had one for that, everyone I saw during post preseason, I could buy the Dallas Cowboys. So it's nothing to me. It happened. It's New York. They're blowing it out of proportion like they always do. Everything in New York. So whatever.
All right. So I'm not seeing anything that says, okay, so I'm hitting invite, right?
Yeah.
And then my list of friends comes up.
Right.
And as I scroll down,
I mean, it's not like you've got John blocked from your personal account because he can see your posts in the other group too.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that he doesn't appear on the list that it feeds me.
Wow.
But if I type in his name, then he'll show up.
But then it's grayed out too, right?
But then, no, it's not grayed out. I have to actually type his name for it to come up on the list. So now I hit send invite, and it tells me there was an issue sending your invite. Please try again. That's all I've been getting the whole fucking time.
It's weird. Facebook is whack. I'm just going to say it. Yeah, no comment from John.
The only other thing I could think of is just closing this page and reopening it as a new page.
That might be something you can try.
I mean, I already got the banner done, so it's
right.
just a matter of uploading it on the other page
and getting everybody back in,
and then get everybody back in to the new page, right?
Katie, I don't know if we've ever had a preseason fight. It's a good point. I think Katie asked the question: have we ever had a preseason without a fight? Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. It happens every year, but it doesn't matter. I mean, whether it's a large fight or just a scuffle between a couple of players, it happens every season, and it doesn't really.
Here's the thing, Katie. These guys are battling for their football lives in preseason.
Right.
Okay, so emotions are going to run high, and the players that have to actually work the hardest are the ones that are going to go off when they're not doing well, or when somebody else is doing better than they are.
Yep.
It's competition, and in competition, you're going to get that. Some people take it to another level. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Some people don't. Some people just compete. Let it be.
Yep.
So I think the Giants will be fine. Joe Judge seems to be a competent coach, but then again, he coached in New England, so they put out some pretty competent people out there. It's just going to matter what Daniel Jones does this year. That's what it's all going to come down to for the Giants. Daniel Jones. This is do or die for him, I think.
He's in the same position that Baker's in Cleveland. Basically, this is your put up or shut up season.
This is boom or bust this year, I think.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah.
And it's about time, I think, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones showed signs of being okay last year, but then again, he showed signs of being a bust as well. So.
Well, he can run as long as he doesn't trip on the 20-yard line.
Right.
Those turf monsters.
Yep. In Panthers camp, they waive IBE is the last name, after the hit he put on Kirkwood. Did you guys see the hit? It was like almost a helmet to helmet hit in camp. It was
it intentional?
I don't know, but they released him right after it. So
this Kirkwood must be somebody important.
Kirkwood?
Because you just don't release somebody for putting a spanking on somebody. Come on now. There had to be some kind of intent or something said or
some kind of background we're not hearing.
Something that they're not putting out there. Yeah, exactly.
JT Ibe was waived by Carolina shortly after he delivered an illegal hit to the head of Keith Kirkwood that sent the wide receiver to the hospital in an ambulance.
Oh, it was an illegal hit. That's different. You see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was an illegal hit.
Kirkwood was later released from the hospital and was back in the care of the team positions. He was diagnosed with a concussion.
In other words, he would have been suspended by the NFL with a hit like that.
Correct.
Right? And fined heavily.
Yeah. Matt Rule called the hit on the where the rookie is a rookie cornerback. So absolutely so he was really, he was a reserve safety, basically is what he was. He called
somebody who probably wasn't going to make the team anyway.
Right. He led with the shoulder and helmet to Kirkwood's helmet, completely unacceptable and not what we'll do. So basically,
I only have one problem with the helmet to helmet rule.
What's that?
And that is when the offensive player dips down and puts their helmet right in the way of the oncoming helmet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. To me, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because you can't stop yourself in midair once you're fucking driving to tackle somebody.
Right.
And when that offensive player dips their head and your helmet's coming, you can't stop that.
Right.
But yet you get penalized as if it were an intentional fucking hit and possibly suspended.
Yep.
That's fucked up.
Yep.
That rule needs to be revisited.
Yep.
Because offensive players have that advantage. They can put their fucking head down and draw a 15-yard penalty.
Kirkwood's a fourth-year NFL player. Rule also coached at Temple, so this is one of Rule's guys.
So he's been with the team for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't come in fresh off the street and start hitting people illegally.
Right.
No. That's a problem waiting to happen because eventually he'll do it in a game and the NFL will end up suspending him and fining him anyway. And there goes a stain on your team.
Right. Right.
So they did a good job.
Is he going to hot property or is Is anyone be banging down the door to sign him?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Probably not.
Todd Bowles.
Yes, Todd Bowles.
3-year deal.
The reason
He
I put
deserves
this
it.
on here is not because of Tampa Bay. It's because of this actually seals him up for 3 years. He's not looking for a head coaching job.
Why would he? He's got a perfect situation going on in Tampa.
My point exactly. He's got a perfect deal in Tampa.
And if Arians decides to retire, guess who's going to be the
Todd
coach?
Bowles could be the heir apparent for Arians. Absolutely.
He's like, what's his name? Bieniemy in Kansas City.
Correct.
Waiting for what's his name to retire so he can step in.
Yep. It's a 3-year contract, keeps him as the NFL's highest paid defensive coordinator. He had 1 year left on the current deal, but this contract replaces that, of course, and does not preclude him from taking another head coaching job. But Bowles says he's happy doing what he's doing. He's going to stay in Tampa. He has no interest in head coaching anywhere right now.
How could you leave with Tom Brady as your quarterback?
Well, he said when Bowles takes over, Brady won't be the quarterback. So, you know.
Well, yeah, when he takes over, Brady
Yeah.
won't be the quarterback. But I'm just saying, for right now, I can live and die with.
He's got a great defense, and he coaches it very well.
And they brought them all back.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. They brought every single guy back.
Right. Exactly.
So Bowles is. I'm telling you right now, dude. I feel sorry for the Cowboys on opening night.
Man, that's gonna be a rough night. I'm sorry, Kenny, but it's gonna be rough.
I mean, those 3 points they put up against the Steelers, you know, that didn't say much.
Yeah, they did not look good in the Hall of Fame game. Kenny,
They did not, but then I would give it to.
Yeah, I mean, Dak didn't play. I mean, all the stars probably didn't play a lot.
No, nobody played. I'm just saying that there's a culture. You know, winning is a culture that you
I
develop.
will say if anything happens to Dak this year, then we are screwed again because I was not impressed with anybody. Cooper Rush had some decent throws.
DeFilippo's the other guy, right?
Do what?
Who's the other guy? DeFilippo, is that his name?
Donardo.
Okay, yeah, Donardo, yeah.
He's bound for XFL, I think. Or CFL. His NFL career is going to be pretty.
All right, moving on to MLB.
Katie, MLB.
Yeah, Katie, Major League Baseball. As John stretches and shows and flexes off his Blue Jays t-shirt.
And that 3 out of 4 game series win against the Red Sox.
Yeah. As Ken
What they lose? Hey, what they've lost 9 of their last 11 or some shit like that?
What's that, Ken?
They've won like 9 out of their last, or they've lost 9 out of the last 11. Is that right?
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, teams look, that whole AL East is teams that are going to get hot and not. And in the end, it's just going to wind up whoever survived. Look,
we got 4 teams. Now, it's going to be a free-for-all from here on.
Exactly. And the problem is that you get too far behind, and when you're playing each other, splits don't count. Okay,
that's
splits
the thing. We've been playing each other. It's been round robin, home like the last 2 or 3 weeks. We played the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and the Rays.
And you should have got swept by the Jays. And you should have got swept by the Jays. Because that second game of the doubleheader yesterday, they should have won that too.
Yeah.
Okay. So they got 3 out of 4.
We'll take it.
Yeah, like Elliot brought up earlier, they got 4 teams in that division with 60 wins.
60 or more wins. You know what? 4 teams in that division, and there's only 5 teams in the entire National League with 60 wins.
Yeah, and Baltimore's way behind. The Orioles are only 25. The Orioles are only 25 games out of first place.
Well, that's the Orioles. That's where they belong.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be eliminated in about the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
They were eliminated in spring training.
Yeah.
What a glorious time to be a Jays fan.
Well,
Good.
John, there's 7 games out of first.
Did you like that picture I posted, John?
What's that?
Charlie Brown and Lucy and Snoopy and whoever.
Oh yeah.
With all the Jays jerseys on.
Yep. It's fun, man. George is starting to hit these things out of the park all the time now.
Yeah.
George
He
is
won the game
George
today.
has been a thorn in our ass for like the last 3 years. And
See, this is the crazy thing about Springer, right? Like we almost forgot we had him because our lineup was just so stacked the entire year. It's like, oh yeah, we signed George in the offseason. Now he's here and he's beasting. He's absolutely beasting.
Dude, he was the centerpiece of that freaking deal that when they went out and got him. Because if he was instrumental in making Houston the team that they were. And that they still are.
Yeah.
Okay. If Springer was still in Houston, Houston would be running away with everything right now. Yeah. Okay. But he's not. He's with Toronto. And he is proving why he was a coveted free agent and probably the best move Toronto could have made in the whole offseason.
Yeah. And then in the trade deadline.
And you know what? Your boy Barrios pitched last night.
Yeah. He
did well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was 1-1 when he left the game. So I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was a good deal for you guys too. Yeah. No matter how much people criticize, you gave up 2.
Yeah, we gave up our 15th overall prospect, and it's like, well, you're not going to get rid of Bo Bichette. Like that was my argument last week. Like, people whining about that. It's like it's Bo Bichette's position. Like you're not gonna. He's a freaking all-star, man. Like I mean, it's
like the Yankees just found themselves a pitcher, Luis Gil, two straight starts, 11 innings, no shutout baseball. First time ever guy in his first 2 starts had shutout.
Yeah.
In both
and
do you guys see a situation where 3 of these AL East teams get into the playoffs?
Yes, I do see. I think the wild cards come out of AL East, period. That's
right now.
The only spoiler is going to be Oakland. Oakland's the only team that can spoil that. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That'd be crazy, huh?
Yes, it would be.
That would be a crazy playoff.
Yes, I mean, one team's going to be staying home, but the top 4 teams in the AL East,
and then
all have a chance of being in the playoff.
And then 2 of those teams will have a play-in game.
Yes, correct. So you're going to have 2 AL East rivals play one game to get into
the real playoffs.
Yes,
crazy, man, crazy.
Yeah,
but that's the East, yo.
Yeah, but again, like I said, the only team that can spoil that party are going to be the A's. The A's are playing really good right now. They've got a 2.5 game lead in the wild card.
In the second wild card.
Yes, in the second, for the second wild card. The Yankees and Toronto are right there, 2.5 behind and 3 behind.
Although Boston might be falling behind Oakland here today, maybe.
Well, you know what though? Guess who comes back next weekend? Chris Sale comes back from Tommy John next weekend.
And
so they get their ace back next weekend.
And
it could provide a boost. You never know, Elliot. It could provide them a boost
next weekend too.
Yeah,
we'll have to see how he does coming off the surgery.
Right.
That's crazy. You can't say shit until the guy actually performs. Because I've heard this song before. Oh, he's back from injury. He's going to be awesome again, and then he winds up not living up to it because he spent so much time away from the game, and the injury is just too much to overcome sometimes.
Well, he's been rehabbing in the minors.
I understand.
So he's been throwing, so it's not like he's coming right out.
No, he's not coming in cold. He's been rehabbing in the minors, of course. That's not major league hitters. Okay. You got to give. I hope they just don't put too much pressure on him, thinking that he needs to be who he was when he left, because that's not going to happen right off.
Right.
That's going to take a little bit of time. If he tries to be who he was before he left, it might blow up in all their faces.
Schwarber had a setback. Looks like he's going to be out for a while. It's a good point, Katie. Pitchers coming off Tommy John often see an increase in velocity. Okay, that's a good point too.
Yeah.
But again, these guys, you got dozens of pitchers throwing in the triple digits right now. I mean, it's just insane how fast these guys are throwing.
Oh yeah, 100 is no longer I think 105 is now the
yeah, I know.
benchmark.
Right. Also, real quick,
our bullpen got in Toronto. First base is still a question, so we gotta fix those two.
I know they tried to get
hurdles.
Anthony Rizzo.
We did. I wanted Rizzo, and I wanted Max too. We didn't get either one of them. So,
thank you, John. Do you guys see the cat on the loose at Yankee Stadium tonight?
Hell yeah.
That was crazy.
yeah.
And that was a New York cat. It wasn't going to get caught. Okay. That's one thing about animals in New York. They know how to fucking dodge motherfuckers.
But it was like.
Have I ever told you my New York City story about the cockroach?
No, go ahead,
please. John. Tell it.
This is a fun time. So
stories.
we used to go to New York City all the time. I had a bunch of buddies in Westchester County, so we would go down to Westchester, and like probably about once every couple of months we'd go down. And we brought my friend down there for the first time. So it's his first time in New York. So we go down to Midtown and we're just walking around, kind of doing the Times Square thing or whatever. And we're on one of the side streets, and I swear, like, I'm not joking. Like people, when I tell this story, people like just laugh at me. Like you're telling a lie. I kid you not. There was a friggin' cockroach that walked across the street. Cars stopped for this thing.
You're kidding
so
me.
My buddy is like, I'm brand new to New York, and I'm going to go and kill a New York City cockroach. This one that stopped a taxi cab from crossing the street. So my buddy goes up all proud and like, look at me. I'm a big, tough guy. Steps on the cockroach. You hear it go crack. Like you hear the cracking. He steps off it. He's smiling and laughing. You know, we're drunk as hell, whatever. As my witness, the freaking cockroach got up and walked, kept going. No joke.
Jesus.
See, they're called, in New York, they're called water bugs. And the makeup of their biology is such where they can survive a lot of shit. They can survive getting run over.
Blast.
I'm just saying.
I'm not joking. It was
the
a little bit
insects
smaller than my cell phone.
Yeah, the insects and rodents of New York are nothing to fuck with.
Well, the rats in the subway system will kill your dog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're the size of your dog.
They're the size of your dog. Yeah.
Dude, when I was growing up, there was one time where a cat was fucking around in the garbage area. Okay. Then all of a sudden, 5 rats surrounded the motherfucker.
Jesus.
Jumped his ass. All that was left in the end was the tail.
Jesus.
Okay. These rats fucking gang bang this poor fucking cat.
Oh, dude, I remember because we were in Westchester, so we would take the subway from the Bronx and go down, right? And we always go to either the first car or the last car. You go at the last car, you smoke the cigarettes out the back of the car, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So we go to the front of the car, and the lights are shining into the tunnel, and the freaking rats are just sitting there looking and they're like big, like you see their eyes beating in the distance.
They call them
like,
super rats. That's what they call them, super rats.
You've never seen anything. Go to the subway systems of New York. It's another planet. It's a complete other planet, man. And I swear there's aliens down there.
Those movies you see with all those fucking rodents and this, that's filmed in the New York subway.
All right. Katie makes a comment. Back to baseball. Arrested in stable sale could kick Richards off the starting rotation. And Richards and Perez's short outings are primarily responsible for depleting the bullpen lately. It's a very good point. If your starters can't go 6 innings, the bullpen suffers.
And that's what's going to be the key too, even with Sale.
Yeah, and
he's going to need to be able to go.
She also says, so even if Sale is rusty, as long as he's stable, he'll be able to settle the pitching down, meaning take pressure off the bullpen. If he can go 6+, he'll take that pressure off the bullpen.
What's crazy though is lately guys like Evaldi, who are usually on point, have been getting roughed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, honestly, and I know Red Sox fans will disagree. I mean, I'm going to try to make this as unbiased a statement as possible. But I think the Red Sox have overachieved to the same level that the Yankees have underachieved this season. Okay. And
so you're saying that Toronto's a better team than both?
No, like, if you listen to what I said, I said Boston overachieved and the Yankees have underachieved.
Okay.
As far as the expectations going in.
Okay.
Okay. And that can't be argued, really. Okay.
Well, remember back
nobody expected Boston to be where Boston is.
Well, remember back in April, Clarkie was making reservations for the parade downtown.
For the parade, so, exactly. Yeah. And now they're in second place, lost 9 out of 11, and that's going to happen in a division where you got 4 bona fide contenders.
Yeah.
Okay. There's just no sugarcoating that. 4 bona fide contenders. And part of the Yankees' problem was that, they weren't acting like one of them. You know what I'm saying? They're starting to get their shit together a little bit. But this fucking COVID thing, man, what the hell?
Yeah, speaking of that, Rizzo and Cole are both tested positive this week for COVID.
We just had Judge come off the fucking list. Several people. 12 Yankees have tested positive for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And
not currently, but Pat from in a certain amount of time, right?
Right, not like this week or anything.
Right.
But this season, okay, 12 Yankees. What's going on? I mean, they're all vaccinated, right?
I think they are, yes.
I pretty much think they are, yeah.
No.
It's this Delta variant.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to get sick or wind up in the hospital or die, but they're going to carry the motherfucker.
Yeah.
This Delta variant is no joke, and people are taking it like it is one.
Yeah.
It's killing people, period.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's spreading even harder. It's spreading 5 times as much as the original variant.
Hello, Florida.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Florida's the worst. 1 out of 5 Americans in the entire country.
Yeah, they're all above the vaccine. Okay, Katie says they're above the vaccinated threshold. They haven't said they're all vaccinated, whatever that means. I don't know above the vaccine.
Yeah, no, they're withholding that as right to privacy or some shit like that.
Right. Okay.
But you know what? Dak Prescott made that statement one day, and he didn't look like a bigger idiot ever in his fucking life. Okay. Well, so whoever was on there said he has no idea what the hell he's talking about.
And then there's Kirk Cousins, who is another discussion for
you know what I'm saying? When it comes to that.
Yeah.
And he should just shut his mouth.
Yep. What else you got for baseball, John? Anything else on baseball, you think? Besides your love for the Jays?
Me, I just love the Jays. Thanks for listening. Big shout out to Jose Bautista for getting bronze in the Olympics for the Dominican Republic. So,
right.
That's a little bit of Jays royalty there, man.
Major League Baseball MLB.com put out a list today of potential numbers to be retired by each major league team, and Bautista was the one they selected to retire his number in Toronto.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Legend. Love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had Aaron Judge in New York as potential to retire his number, but he has to keep playing.
Well, dude,
no, actually,
21.
Actually, you know what? I have that list.
Yeah.
And they say that the next Blue Jay to get his number retired will be Vlad Jr.
Oh, that's right. They said Vlad Jr. I'm sorry, Vlad Jr. You're right.
Oh, Vlad Jr.
You're right.
Oh.
Yeah. And they made that prediction in 2019 because they'll show you what the pick was in 2019 and what it is today.
Yeah.
And Guerrero was the pick both times.
Okay. I would, but I had Bautista in my mind because I did see that he won bronze medal in the Olympics. And that's
yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But I was looking at the same list. That's why, I just jumped in and said, and I told you earlier, hey, should we go over that list? And you're like, no.
Well, yeah, we can do. And that wasn't the list you talked about. You were talking about NFL list. So
NFL team names. Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking about 10 NFL teams. We can do that list if we need it for the time. Couple NBA. This week was NBA free agency. Westbrook to the Lakers, of course. I think we talked about that last weekend.
Oh, is it NBA time?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Get your Raptors hat out, John.
Yep.
Get your Raptors hat out.
Time for your Tampa Raptors hat.
Yep. Kyle Lowry, John.
Yes.
To the Miami Heat.
Yep.
What's your reaction?
He has nothing left to prove or do anything for. It's really interesting. This is the first time in Raptors history where a free agent, there's been no animosity and not one single fan is like, Kyle's a prick for leaving. Like,
but it's still under investigation, though. By the way, just wanted.
I know that's so dumb. Dude.
For tampering
crap.
Chris Paul revisited.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Chris Paul to the Lakers. Remember
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm happy for Kyle. I mean, I don't think Miami is a place to chase a ring. I don't think they've got the squad. It's just I guess,
you know what though? You guys got Goran Dragic.
They're probably gonna move him, man.
Dude,
I think they'll move him.
That dude's a 3-point.
Oh yeah. I'm all for Goran, man. I mean, but I think they're gonna move him. I think
we'll take
the
him.
key to that piece to sign and trade was Precious. I think that's who they're more up on. I think Goran's gonna get moved. I don't know.
They had a decent draft, didn't they, John?
Who the Raptors?
Yeah.
Bro, this Scotty Barnes kid, apparently they picked him 4th overall when everyone said it was going to be, Suggs or whatever, right? Like, and he went off today in summer league. Like he did 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Like he went off. This was his first game in like an NBA kind of environment, and he played up. So what they're saying is, in the next 5 years, it's going to be, it was the Kawhi and Kyle were kind of like the small forward and the point guard. It's going to be Fred or Flynn as the point guard, and then this Scotty Barnes kid is the small forward.
Okay.
I'm still puzzled that they took Scotty Barnes over
Suggs.
Ken's still in baseball mode. He wants to see Batista Coca-Cola one more time.
Dude, man. I mean, whatever.
Look, I would take Dragic in a minute in a Knicks uniform, but we went out and got Kemba Walker and
which was good, man.
Evan Fournier.
Yeah.
And now you got a point guard setup of Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker. You don't lose anything at the point guard position when those guys go in and out.
Who's your shooting guard? Is it RJ, or is he small forward?
No, he's small forward.
Nick
that's going to be Fournier now.
Fournier will be your shooting.
Evan Fournier.
Okay.
Because that was Reggie Bullock before, but he moved to Dallas, I think.
Well, I'm here for it, man. I've always said that a good Knicks team is good for the NBA. So.
Absolutely,
and they just extended Randall.
Yep.
And Barrett's coming back. They're gonna have a good team next year, man. I mean, they might not be championship contenders yet. I think they still need that elite player, like maybe Joel Embiid or somebody like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that'd kill Philly, huh? Imagine
that would put the Knicks in championship contention immediately and kill Philly. Yes.
Yeah. I'm so happy what Philly does miserable. Like, it's just, I used to hate the Nets, like I still do, but now it's Philly and their fans.
Anything Philly, I'm
they're just annoying. Like, they're just it's just shut up.
And it's only because it's not because of the teams, it's because of the fans. The worst fans in all
they're
assholes.
There's no one likable other than Danny Green. I mean, I love Danny, but I mean, like Ben Simmons is just like, he's not even going to be there next year. But I mean, Joel Embiid is just like this. I don't know, man.
Joel Embiid
has not lived up to his potential.
He's a beast, dude. He just hasn't had a supporting cast that can bring out the rest of his potential. Especially Ben Simmons, who can't shoot a free throw to save his fucking life.
Yes, Philly fans boo Santa Claus. That's all you need to know about Philly fans.
Yeah. They would boo.
No. They don't just boo him. They throw fucking snowballs at him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's unbelievable.
What, Kenny?
With batteries inside the snowballs.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, those people are like, hey, listen, really quick. I'm gonna just go over the retired numbers for our teams.
Okay, go ahead. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, Vlad Guerrero, he was the 2019 pick. He looks like he will compete for multiple MVPs and could end up on a Hall of Fame track.
Triple crown potential too.
Yes.
Yeah, he does. And if he ends up signing an extension with the Jays, he could become their signature superstar.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it.
Okay, who are you claiming
Who, me?
Oh, Boston. No, Boston. Let's do Boston next. In 2019, the pick for the next
Double
retirement,
Trey.
it was
Double
Mookie
Trey.
Betts.
I was gonna say Mookie.
Betts.
It was.
And now
No.
here in
Next
2021,
one to be retired should be 33.
actually
Jason
they
Varitek.
say Xander Bogaerts is going to
No.
be the next retirement.
Varitek before him.
We'll
Jason
see.
Varitek needs to have his 33 up on that wall.
Well, and this is a list of current players on the team. This is
Right,
not-
right.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, this is a roster of this is a list of current players on the team. Like
Yeah,
with us,
right. Whoever is currently
Mookie.
playing, who will have their number retired now?
right.
You know what I'm saying?
nobody on the current team, but Mookie.
No,
Mookie
Xander Bogaerts is the one that they're claiming is,
Okay.
I would have thought Rafael
Yeah.
Devers,
Devers and X-Man, yeah.
but Bogaerts is definitely a legit choice. In 2019, for the Yankees, the pick was CC Sabathia. And now it's Aaron Judge, of course.
Right.
And Cleveland, that's who you claiming?
Yeah, that's who I'm claiming. Yes, that's the only. Yeah. Yes.
But we
Go
don't
Guardians.
know. We can never. It's either the
We can
Tampa
never
Bay
tell with you,
team or
man.
the Cleveland-
Go Guardians. Okay, I'm just saying. Let's go.
That's why I said Cleveland. I'm not.
Let's
used to
go
it.
Guardians.
Oh God, what a
But anyway, they had Corey Kluber
Yeah.
in 2019.
Who's
and
now with
it's-
the hated Yankees?
and now Jose Ramirez is the one.
Yeah, Jose Ramirez is the odds on.
We'll do some more of those next week
Yeah.
during the baseball segment.
Yeah, I mean, Ramirez is the star in Cleveland right now. It was the guy that went to the Mets. It was him, but
Baez?
yeah.
Lindor.
Lindor was the sweetheart last year, but now it's Ramirez. So
He's been
and
kind
there's
of a
not-
bust this year, though.
there's not that many great players on the Indians this year. I mean, outside of our pitching staff, there is really nothing else to
Yeah.
flaunt about the Indians. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, you should definitely make that.
It's
total-
pretty sad when the best team. It's
You should
pretty-
make that clean transition between Cleveland and Tampa official.
No, I won't. It's pretty telling when the best team in town are now the Browns, not the Indians or the Cavs. It's the Browns. It's the best team in town. So,
I mean, your team now is not even as good as the one on Major League.
no, it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. You're right. Chris Paul got extended by the Lakers 4 years,
Lakers.
$120 million.
Yeah, let's
I'm
talk
not
about
sorry
the
by the
Lakers.
Suns. The Suns. I'm sorry. Yes, extended by
Yes,
Chris
Blaine.
Paul.
go sports teams. Hey, Blaine. Yes, the Suns extended
I
Chris
think
Paul.
the Suns made a fabulous decision in re-signing Paul.
Yep.
Because he's only going to come back next season with a bigger chip on his shoulder.
But with his injury issues, is that a good contract after 2 years? With his injury
Fine.
history, you think?
Yeah, it's fine.
Look, they've got a backup point guard, Cam. I forgot his last name. Cameron something. Number 15, lefty. Cameron Payne.
Cameron Payne. Yeah.
Yeah. And he fills in really well when Paul, which means that Paul can cut his minutes back some and give favor to this Payne kid. And that'll reduce his time and, reduce his susceptibility to injury. So it's a good signing. I mean, they're coming back with what they rolled up with this year, and they'll be contenders again.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Now, like I said, let's talk about the Lakers.
You mean the geriatric Lakers?
Yeah, the Geritol.
Yes, the Geritol Lakers.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's their sponsor.
Lakers.
Isn't that their sponsor now, Geritol?
I would think so.
Okay. I mean,
Lakers' next move will be to exhume the body of Wilt Chamberlain, see if they can resurrect him one way.
I hear Kareem might be considered a comeback too. Carmelo Anthony. Really? So you're trying to stack? They went back and got Dwight Howard again.
Yep.
The average age on that team is like 34 or something, right?
They're the oldest
32.
team in the NBA, average age, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but you know why LeBron's doing that, right? Or why he's trying to get all these people there, because he can't cut it no more.
Yeah, and he can't. People can't point the finger on him. So
yeah, it takes all the attention away. Most of the attention away from him, because he knows right now that team is better without him. They were doing better with just AD, and then LeBron came back and fucked everything up. LeBron, he ain't the best. Matter of fact, he ain't the best player. Not just on his team, not just in the NBA, but in the world.
No, he ain't.
He's not that guy anymore.
No.
And the thing is that there's foreigners that are better than him right now.
Luka.
Okay.
Luka had a good Olympics too.
I'm just saying.
I really thought they were going to beat Australia and take the bronze medal. I did not see that one coming.
They're trying to put together a super team, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. They're going against teams that are just as good and younger.
Mm-hmm.
Much younger.
Much younger, much quicker.
Exactly.
Much stronger.
You see what I'm saying? And the Suns ain't going nowhere. The Nuggets ain't going nowhere. Okay. The Utah Jazz ain't going nowhere. Okay. Those were 3 of the top 4 teams last year.
What's Dillard going to do in Portland? You think he's going to stay or go?
Well, the way things are going, I mean, if they let Carmelo Anthony bounce, they haven't done anything to improve the team.
Right.
Did they make any pickups and trades or anything like that to make him want to stay?
No.
And
CJ McCollum cannot run that team.
No.
There's no way.
No. Yeah. CJ McCollum is Robin.
Yes.
To Dame's Batman.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just the cold hard facts of it.
Yeah.
All right. And the bottom line is that Dame, he gives his loyalty, but at what point does your loyalty begin to become your detriment? Because they're not doing anything to serve you for that loyalty.
Yeah.
Dame could go anywhere he fucking wants, to be honest with you.
Yep. And
I'm sure there's teams out there that'll make a way to make room for his ass.
The rumor I saw was the Knicks was his first choice.
And the Knicks are his first choice if he leaves Portland. And I'm sorry, but the Knicks have some pieces they could trade back to Portland if they want to. We will take Damian Lillard.
That's your superstar. I mean, Randall does your thing.
That's the superstar.
That's your Jordan.
Hey, we could easily. Nobody said we had to keep. Nobody said we had to keep Kemba Walker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they got this Obi Toppin kid that they got last year in the draft. They could put him in a package. You know what I'm saying? And send him to Portland for Dame.
He was trending on Twitter today,
so we'll see. I mean, the Knicks are making moves, and that's what I'm. That's the most. That's the thing that makes me the happiest is that they're finally making fucking moves, and that's only going to attract elite talent to New York with the moves they're making. So we'll see how it goes, man. But yeah, Kemba went to the Knicks, man.
Yeah, not
the Celtics.
Not the Celtics, guys. He went to the Knicks. Yes, that's my fault.
That was in the rundown, John.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was.
That's why I don't print them out anymore, because I know they'll do stuff like
everything
that.
I put in there is wrong, so it's all good.
He do that Josh Allen signing. He's talking about the linebacker from Jacksonville, right?
Yeah. I couldn't find anything on hockey, guys. I don't know if you guys got anything on hockey you want to talk about.
Dude, hockey. Hey, no pun intended. Pun intended, but hockey's on ice right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the big signing in Edmonton with Darnell Nurse getting, 8-year, 9-point-something million a season average annual value for it.
You would know that though, because you're an Edmonton fan.
Well, it was pretty big news he was even trending. He was the number one topic on Twitter there for Friday or Thursday when they did it.
Hey, but I've been putting up a lot of hockey posts.
8.9 million Canadian or American?
It's American. It's always American. All
I've been
deals
putting up a lot of hockey posts though, just try to keep everybody engaged in the hockey.
It's
Well,
it's
it's
I like
nice.
that. I like that picture of Gordie Howe and the great one.
And
with
the great one?
hockey. Yes, that was a good picture.
That's like David's what's his name? Van de Bunt.
Yeah.
He broke down the whole thing with statistics and everything.
Yep.
And the two greatest players to ever play that
Well,
game.
Howe and Gretzky is.
So hockey's done now. Can we talk a little something? Or
Go ahead, John.
Do you have Olympics on
I
there?
do have Olympics on there. Yes, the Canadian national team. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what? It must be off-season hockey because when does John ever turn on an opportunity to talk hockey? He wants to fucking move on from hockey.
I gotta talk Olympics, man. I mean, this is
Huge.
If you watch some of the replays of when me and Ken start going back and forth about like soccer and stuff, I've always said our women's team is severely underrated. I've said it. I said we are a top team.
Which team? Which
the
team?
women's soccer team.
Women's
soccer team. We proved it, man.
They got gold, didn't they?
Got gold, bro.
Got gold.
First
and they've never won.
You know where FIFA ranked us? Eighth. Eighth.
That'll be higher.
Anyways,
higher.
Big shout out.
And they beat the U.S. national team. So that's something right there, John.
That's the biggest thing.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, who scored the winning goal? Yes, Eliana. Yes, she was Portuguese. Yes, Grasso. Yeah, she was Portuguese father.
Right. Well, it was huge when they beat the U.S. in like the first or second round. And
the big game was the Brazil game when we beat Brazil, and then the States getting that, and then we were guaranteed like playing for a medal.
Yeah.
And then the Sweden final, man.
Can never underestimate the heart of a champion.
Bro, it was crazy, man. That's like it. I was, obviously I follow, Scott will know this guy, Sports Rage on Twitter. He's a guy that I've been following for years and years. He made the statement when we won on Friday, and he said, this could be the biggest moment in Canadian sports history. And I agree. Even bigger, dude, like that's a big deal.
Well, it's because, and again, I can see where that could be a good point, because nobody expected the Canadian national team to win the gold. They expect the Canadian hockey team to do well in the Olympics. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not like soccer's the national sport of Canada. It's not.
But it's the most played sport in Canada.
Okay.
That's what's crazy.
It's the most played sport everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
That's what they got kids growing up on now.
Soccer. They were never going to have a better chance to beat the United States through. And it's going to be really in name. They led for much, but Canada tied it with like 15 minutes ago. And the Senate got it all the way to penalties and then ended up winning on penalties.
Can anybody tell me why?
My hat's off to Canada.
Thank you.
Can anybody tell me how now schools push soccer when back in the days they used to push stuff like baseball, basketball, for kids?
Cost.
Yes,
exactly.
Guaranteed.
Cost.
Yeah.
How much does it cost to actually play soccer?
Because all you need for soccer is a ball. That's it.
Yeah. Same with basketball.
And some cleats.
Yes, cleats.
And then basketball, you need shorts and good shoes and a ball too.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's costs. And I mean, this is why it's it's a growing sport. I mean, Canada's, first of all, it's a very diverse country. And if you go to the major city, like when Italy won the freaking Euro, you should have saw Vancouver. Like the entire east side of Vancouver was Italian flags packed in the streets. It was
really,
and this is in Canada, right? And that's what you'd see in the major cities. And because there's a massive population of all these countries that are competing. Same if Portugal was in it, you would see the Portuguese community come out in full force. And it's just, soccer's huge in this country.
Okay, so I got that question in reverse. What's the most expensive
Hockey.
Yeah, it's hockey.
To support as a playing in school.
Yeah, because because the parents or the
more
players are responsible for their own equipment. Sticks.
The
Skates.
goalie
Pads.
pads.
The
The
pads.
pads. The
The
pads
goalie
they
pads
wear
are
on their
fucking
legs.
expensive
The
as fuck.
cheapest you're going to get them is $1,000 for a pair.
Yeah.
That's bottom of the line shit.
And you,
That's
and
not
because
like,
John knows because he had to pay for Maddie's. Yes.
yeah, I had to buy them that. And that was about 10 years ago. And that
Yeah.
they were still about $1,000. The
Yeah.
blockers are $500. The catcher's like $500.
Yeah, but I'm talking about years.
Wow.
ago, man. You know what I'm saying? They weren't pushing hockey so hard years ago. Not here in America. Canada hockey, they live and breathe that shit up there.
Well,
You know
see,
what I'm
well, with football up here, I don't know what it was like in the States, but football, when the high school teams, they would buy the kids didn't have to come up with their own equipment. It was always the school had the pads,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it, right? But with hockey, it was always you had to buy your own stuff.
Yeah, that buy and sticks and all that shit wasn't cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get it. You know, it's another one that's expensive though, and it might not look that way, but fucking golf.
Oh, golf, dude, for the
Clubs
clubs? Are you
the clubs
kidding
are
me?
huge. Yeah, the clubs are
Oh,
really
dude.
expensive.
The
Yeah.
clubs, the
You
fucking
can't get a set of
all that
clubs.
shit.
You cannot get a full set of clubs for less than $1,500. I'm serious.
Yeah. And that's bargain basement.
Not to mention fees.
Yeah.
And,
Well, to play
and
on the course,
tea
yes.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's expensive shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Which
What
is
else?
why you don't see more Tiger Woods in the game of golf.
Well, no, but what you're seeing today are players that were they grew up watching Tiger,
Yeah.
and that's why they started playing, is because of Tiger.
Self-interest.
No, I understand that, but I'm talking from an economic standpoint. You're not going to see a whole lot of, and I don't want to make this a racial thing, but you're not going to see a whole lot of black people in golf because they just don't have the economics.
Well, that's that. No, and that can be true. But there are quite a few
Because
black
of the
players
cost of the
on
game.
on the tour right now. Yes, there are
Because of
quite
the
a
cost
few.
of the game. How many people in the Bronx are playing golf, dude?
Right.
As the right side leaning guy on the, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. That's you liberals, all you liberal guys just said that, not me. So
Yeah.
it's just to make that crystal clear.
Yeah.
I'm
The
sure he'll
comment-
bring it up if we need to later.
The comments of Elliot Lamba do not reflect the current
reflect the
opinions of the
feelings of
Sports Nerd
everybody
Show,
else
and
on
we
the
do not
panel.
endorse anything he says.
But I never said anything wrong. I said I'm not making this a racist thing. Okay.
Says the only Latino on the friggin'
Yeah.
panel. The only
I'm not
Latino on the
making
panel,
it a
and he's not
racial
making it
thing,
racist.
I'm just saying. Okay, so how many Puerto Ricans do you see playing golf?
Playing well, there's a lot of Latinos playing
Yes,
golf.
there are.
On the circuit?
Mostly
On the
Spain,
circuit?
though, right?
Yes.
On the
Yes.
circuit?
Yes.
No,
On
I'm
the
talking about
circuit?
Puerto Ricans. I'm talking about Puerto Ricans.
Puerto
from the
Rican, I
Bronx.
don't know. I'm sure
Okay.
there's guys.
Puerto
but there's a lot
Ricans
of
from the Bronx
Spanish.
ain't playing no
Mexico's got
fucking
two or
golf,
three.
okay? Puerto Ricans from the Bronx ain't playing no goddamn golf, okay?
Again,
But come on, there's not a
the
course in
opinions of
co-op.
Elliot
I'm talking
Mickey
about
Lamba
where
do not
I-
reflect the
I'm
opinions of the
talking
Sports
about
Nerd
where
Show.
I grew up, okay? Where I grew up,
When we grew up, we had Lee
Foreman Jerome,
Trevino.
dude.
we didn't have the money to fucking play
Grand
no goddamn.
Concourse.
You know what we played? We played street hockey with some freaking plastic ball
And stick
and
ball.
some cheap ass sticks. Yeah, stick ball. That was a good one too because the
Broom
balls were
handle,
like
a broom
50
handle, and a
cents.
tennis ball. That's all you needed, right, Elliot?
That's it. And you wrap some tape around it to get the grip,
Yeah.
and you're through, dude. Then
Yeah.
afterwards, you start using it as a fucking kendo stick. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. What was the cost to buy the freaking nets to put, the goals? That was nothing. Back then, they were like $50, I think. You know what I'm saying? You can have one
Make
on
your
each
own.
side, and then stick ball. We used to play softball a lot. Softball don't cost shit. It's just the clincher ball. That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody had their own gloves, bats, this, that, and the other. You know, that's how, and basketball was a big sport. Again, you're going to see more minorities and stuff like that in sports that were economically available to them. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you, Elliot. Okay. Anything else in the Olympics you want to talk about before we get going, Kenny?
Yeah, big shout out to Andre DeGrasse winning gold
Andre
for 200
DeGrasse,
meter.
yeah.
And we got bronze in the relay, the 4x100.
And congratulations to France for almost defeating Kevin Durant and the United States team.
Yep.
Kevin Durant needs to learn this thing called humility and being humble, man.
He's a bitch.
Dude, like as soon as he wins, he's like, yeah, we're the best, yo. Get on our level. And like
he's a bitch. You know why? Because he ain't never, ever going to win a championship unless he has a squad around him.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not going to have that in Brooklyn. They just they extended him, right?
He had one in Oakland.
But are they going to extend Harden? I don't think so. Are they going to extend Kyrie Irving?
Well, they just extended. They just extended
KD.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Kevin Durant, and but they also extended Steph.
Yeah, but that's different squad.
The Warriors did. The Warriors extended Steph.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Golden State.
Oh, okay.
I will say this. The time where we dominated everything between track and swimming and everything, those days are long gone.
We still had the total overall medal count and the gold count.
We are not dominating anymore. We did get the most medals. We finally caught China in the last day. Wasn't sure we were going to, but the times where the world should having to go against us, those are long gone. They're not coming back. The vast majority of the medals that we won were by the women, and my hat off to them too.
Yes, hats off to the women.
The men did next to nothing.
Track and field especially. Track and field
was horrendous.
Yes.
We cannot.
You guys didn't get any medals in any of the races.
Oh, dude, how about those Jamaican girls?
Between us to save our lives.
How about those Jamaican girls finishing first, second, and third?
Fantastic. They were very Olympic this weekend.
For a country with a population less than Connecticut.
Yeah.
3 million people, 5 million people.
3 million people.
Well, what's crazy is a buddy of mine threw up a graphic, and if you look at the past 3 Olympics, it was only the last Olympics where they didn't get the silver. Other than that, the men's and the women's team basically dominates. The Jamaican runners are just they're another league.
Well, yeah,
they're on another level.
They're like the Kenyan marathon runners.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at marathons and you're going to see somebody from Kenya up in that motherfucker.
Well, I think we got a silver in the 5,000.
Yeah,
we got a silver in the 5,000. Mohammed.
Canada had an awesome Olympic.
We had the most ever total medals for us in a summer Olympic, man. Like we always do good in the Winter Olympics, duh. But I mean, it was cool to see, man. And I mean, Andre DeGrasse is no joke, man. He's
the real deal.
Damian Warner got the
sounds too much like Andre Agassi.
Gold. It's good, man. It was fun to see. Like I didn't really.
You got some great Canadian swimmers too.
It's kind of weird without fans and stuff, but
yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully Paris.
Hopefully this will be the only time we ever have that. But
before we go, shout out to my homeboy Messi for signing with PSG.
Yes, I want to put Messi on the list.
That's huge. That's actually my son's favorite team.
What?
Yeah, Lionel Messi leaves Barcelona for the first time after 21 years. Yes.
Bienvenue à Paris, Monsieur.
Yeah, so PSG, man. Saint-Germain. Yeah.
Paris Saint-Germain.
That's where homeboy plays, right?
They were on the verge of
Mbappe plays.
They will win it with him.
And peace out to Bobby Bowden, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last subject. Bobby Bowden was a legend in Tallahassee for Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
He was 91 years old. He wasn't just a great coach on the field. He was a great leader of men off the field as well. Great role model. He did a lot. I mean, he coached Deion Sanders. He coached Derek Brooks, just to give you an example, just a sampling of the players that he coached in his career. He dies this morning of pancreatic cancer. And Bobby Bowden was one of the reasons why, as a kid in the 80s, I rooted for Florida State. He wasn't the only reason, as you guys know. I've told that story over and over again. But I loved Bobby Bowden. Didn't care for his politics, but it didn't change the fact how much I loved him as a coach and as a person. He was a great guy. and he'll be missed. And for some reason, Brett just tried to freaking call me on Zoom. I have no idea why.
Nice.
But
Didn't see him today.
Condolences to the Bowden family and to the Seminole family. He was a giant in college football. He put FSU on the map, basically, when he took it over. He put him on the map. So
91 years is a good run.
91 years is a great run, man. He really was.
Hey, next week we got to do like a whole section on fantasy because
absolutely yes.
Yeah.
You have something that you wanted to something?
No. We'll wait for next week so we can get into it. We can smack talk and we can,
I can't tell you that. I can't tell you.
Are you guys interested in the prediction game and Survivor?
Huh?
Because I've got all that information on a post.
Oh, you need my email. I forgot.
Nerds.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, he's running Pick'em, a Survivor, and what else, Ken?
College Pick'em too.
Oh, college Pick'em too. Okay.
College and pro Pick'em and Survivor.
So I don't do college, so
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you got my email. I gave it to you earlier, so you got it.
But I can tell you, as far as the fantasy football league goes, which you can see behind me, the Sports Nerds Fantasy Football for 2021. The draft is going to be on September the 5th at 7:30 p.m.
So during the show.
That's during the show, like last year.
Perfect.
And remember last year it only lasted about an hour.
Yeah, it was quick.
So it shouldn't throw us off for too much time. And we're actually going to have, I think, less picks. I think we're going to have 18 instead of 20 this time.
So no huge benches.
No, the benches I think are going to be 3 or 4.
Thank you. Oh, it's the most frustrating thing in the world.
Because
Dude,
you see, if you reduce the benches down to, let's say, 4, then you're talking about another 24 to 36 guys,
right?
That'll be available.
The waiver wire will be so much better than it had.
Well, been. I think when you do that, you encourage trades. You encourage you can't just stash a dude, and that's the worst when you have like 7 or 8 spots.
The only stashes will be, and again, this is a lot to do with the lingering of COVID, is going to be the reserve spots. In the reserve, because you might get those situations where guys have COVID and can't play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're also going to have
a guy gets injured and he can come
Wentz
back later in the
out
season.
12 weeks.
Yeah, when you got Carson Wentz, you got to have some kind of reserve going on, right? Exactly.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
But I'm working out all the other particulars. As far as I haven't looked at the scoring system again, it's the same as it was 2 years ago. So I got to go back and look at it, make sure that it's
on NFL.com, right?
NFL.com. You should have gotten the invite.
I never got it, man. I never got crap.
Everybody else got it. Shit, what's going on up there in Canada, man?
It's the Beavers, man.
I'm gonna send it to you right as soon as we're done.
Cool.
And I'll send it to your Facebook so that way you can just go straight there.
Facebook.
Just give them the link in Facebook chat.
Yeah. Send me the link too for the group.
Well, I can't send a group link. That's just it. I got to be able to
copy and paste the URL.
I can do that, but I don't know how far you'll get that way because
that's what I'm saying. Because if I click that link, then it'll say what's going on.
I'll send it to you.
If you got the link, and all you'll need is the league number and the name.
Yeah, you should be able to send him the link to the site, the NFL.com site, to get him in there. So that'd be fine.
Okay, so the Facebook one, I'm gonna send you along with the NFL.com one.
Yes. Oh, by the way, if you haven't heard, NFL.com has updated their app, so you need to download the current app.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
I got a
you
prompt
just
for that
got
the other day.
you just got messaged the Facebook page.
Says when this happens, usually because the owner has shared it to a small group of people, changed who can see it, or it's been deleted. So it's not on my end apparently. That's super weird.
I would create a new group, Elliot, and just start over from there.
Start fresh.
Yeah, do that.
That's weird, man.
Just do that.
Blame
But
Canada.
because the reason I say it is because if
here's
he's
the
not blocked,
logic behind this, though. Here's the logic, though, is that changing the page isn't going to change his status on my friends list, which is currently not showing him within the page.
what if you go in a regular Facebook and look for him? Is he on your friends list, or is he showing grayed out?
He's on my friends list, yeah.
Then it should not be an issue if he's on your friends list.
Yeah.
Try it and see what happens. You can't lose it. You can't. There's no sense. You can't lose anything by trying it anyway.
Yeah, like,
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to investigate it as much as I possibly can.
Okay,
Yeah, it's weird.
But I just don't. I don't know. I usually don't get stumped for shit like this, but right now I am.
Blame Canada, man. Just blame Canada.
all right. We're gonna wrap it up for another week of this.
Yeah, the only people I got blocked are the people that don't play with us no more. Bob,
Oh, Bob.
David, Rashad,
Oh, Bob.
and your
Oh,
homies from up in
Bob.
Canada,
What about Bob?
Raja and Blair.
Yeah, it's a sore
Yeah.
subject, Ken. All right, guys, let's wrap it up for this week.
Cool.
Thank you everyone that showed up tonight on the Facebook. For those of you on the podcast, look for us, the sports. We are the I can't even get that. Figure that out. On Facebook, we are at SNN Sports Nerd Nation, the Rant Pack on Facebook. I am _sports_nerd on Twitter. John G. Olson on Twitter as well. Elliot doesn't use Twitter. Ken at Ken Costlow on Twitter for our co-host Ken.
I have a Twitter handle. I just don't remember it.
He doesn't use Twitter. Don't bother with
If
it.
only we started a community on Hive.
Yes, I know. You're the Hive genius. Anyway, anyway, we'll be here again next week at 7:00 as usual, with the usual suspects in tow. Thank you everyone that came. Thanks everybody listening on the podcast. We are the Sports Nerds, and we are out. Elliot, please play the outro.
Yanko.
Well, there you have it, Nerds Nation. Another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books, and we're actually still live to tell about it. Now, on behalf of our hosts, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? John, Bob, and Ken, the three other lovable members of the Rant Pack, and yes, me, Big E. The entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we want to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. And for fuck's sake, please wear a fucking mask. You just got hit with a pack rant from the Rant Pack. And with that, fellas, we are